If I haven't told you recently how much I love vintage tap handles, then I'm gonna say it one more time. I love vintage tap handles, and some of them may not be crazy old by in the grand scheme of things. The reason why I'm saying that is there are some tap handles that are literally from I think like 1910, stuff like that. But there's also some great vintage ones that are like really like 50, 60 years old, but may not even seem like they're that old. And with those vintage taps, occasionally I will get them in the original box. And it just makes me super happy. It's uncommon to see that. A lot of times it'll be dead stock. If that is the case, essentially something that's been sitting around in a warehouse. And this is one of these. It is a Ice House tap handle in the original box. Unfortunately, we don't get a ton of extra information about that. So saying injection molded half bottle, this is a design that I believe was done with a number of different tap handles. And we do have a number here as well as a number down there, both of those reference numbers. But we don't get too much extra, like aside from that on the box itself. Occasionally, with the vintage boxes, you'll get a manufacturer or you'll get a date, some of that, and we don't have that in this case. So let me pop this open so you can see that. Oh, and another thing that's worth mentioning is sometimes with the vintage ones, you'll also have like an instruction manual or something like that. So it's worth kind of checking out inside to see if you do have any sort of instruction manual. So here we have the tap handle. This is, like I mentioned, the injection molded half bottle. And this is a design that you would have seen a couple of times. You've got the bottle style design on the front, so it's something that looks almost identical to a normal Ice House bottle. You'll notice that they did add a couple of touches here, so essentially this is designed so it looks like there's some water on the outside, something similar. Down here you've got the date for it, 1855. Plank Road Brewery, ice brewed. That is just some of the classic things with Ice House. Jeez, yeah, pretty amazing. With this, it is notable that this is a plastic design. There are some designs like this that are made out of resin, but you'll notice that this is in immaculate condition. Although you'll also notice that design-wise, they had a issue with the adhesive that they use, so you'll notice that it is coming out off there slightly. So that means that if you do have one of these Ice House ones, then you want to keep an eye out for that to see if there's if the adhesive is coming off. So there we are. Actually, looks like that's got it sticking back on there a little bit better. So you do want to keep an eye out on that. And then on the back here, you've got Ice House. You'll see that you've got little screw here. So little insert screw, a screw on the top, another screw down here, and one there. So it looks like we've got 4 ones that are holding that back portion on, that plastic back portion. And then down here, you've got 2 screws that are holding on this bottom portion. With a previous one, I covered a Schlitz tap handle, and actually, let's look at that as well. It looks like this is all one portion. I don't know if they produced it entirely in that way or if they had a method they used to attach that, but I'm not seeing any lines. So I see a slight bend there. So, but I don't see any like obvious lines. So either they did a really, really good job of cleaning that up, or it was produced as one piece. If it was produced as one piece, then it makes sense that it would be attached in that way and it'd hold on there fairly firmly. And with this, you do have that standard threading in there, right there. So that is the 3/8/16. And it's also worth noting that, let's see if we can see that. So I'm checking to see if there's any internal screw, because there's a Schlitz design tap handle that some other tap handles were done like as well that actually had a screw on the insert on the inside there. Looks like this one does not. But once again, Ice House Tap. And this one is made out of plastic, so it's a little bit lighter. Doesn't have the same heft as you get for a resin a lucite one. But if you're a fan of Ice House, I'm sure that this is probably one of the ones you want to add to your collection. It's worth noting Ice House does have a number of different tap handles. This style one, old one that's wood and ceramic, and I'm sure that there's some other ones as well. So I'll try and cover those ones as well when I have a chance.